Hi, welcome to Tech Ranch, a place where you learn and earn technical skills in the most efficient way. JDBC API tutorial, Java database connectivity application programming interface. Chapter 5, JDBC API demonstration part 1. In this video, we are going to implement data retrieval using select query. Before we start coding, let's make sure you have all the required software installed in your system. We need a Java development kit, we need a database. I'm using here Oracle Express Edition during the demonstration, which is available in oracle.com site, and an IDE, SQL Developer for database, and Eclipse IDE for Java, which is available in eclipse.org. If you go to the oracle.com site, you can find out all the developer required software which is available for download and installation. Java for Developer, Oracle Database 11g Express Edition, SQL Developer. So let's get into the code. This is my application design. Java console is nothing but the Eclipse, the IDE, where we are going to write down the code. I'm going to make a testing Java application project. Inside this project, I'll be having a class file testing.java. In this testing.java, we have getOracleConnect method and display method, and this is my design. You can have accordingly. This is the most efficient and the most standard type of design we always prefer to have it. And inside the main method, I'm going to recall these connect and display method to get the values. On the other side, this is the database, where while installation of the database, Oracle specifically, they mention some kind of admin database username and password. They will ask you, enter it. And you have to remember that, because that's very important. When we work with the database, we usually use for, they will definitely ask you for these username and password. And I'm going to define the test table name, then ID, password, age, and serial number. And these values I'm going to display it in my Java console while execution. And these are the data types used in the database. And we'll learn about this in detail in the next few videos. And when it comes to the data retrieval implementation, these are the basic 5 steps. I'm going to use it during this demonstration. First, I'm going to get the connection. That's what I said, get Oracle Connect. Create statement, declare result set, and execute query. These will come in the display, and display values, this will come in the display. And main method, I'm going to call these method. Let's learn in detail about these create statement and results while coding. Let's code on. So as I told you, we need to have an IDE first. I have installed my Eclipse. So this is my Eclipse, and this is my SQL Developer, which I have already installed in my system. So when we have Eclipse, first of all, we are going to make a Java project. I've already explained it in detail about the connection, but this time again I'm going to cover in this video so that we can revise our previous steps. Right click on the space Project Explorer, go to the new and go to the project. Here we have Java project, and I'm going to give the name testing. And I just want a simple project. So no dependencies, no output folders, nothing, just finish. This is my simple Java project, basic Java project. Inside this Java project testing, you see there is a source folder. Inside this source folder, I'm going to have a class file. As we know, Java works on object-oriented programming concepts. It understands classes and objects. So we have to create a class and define the main method inside the class. So let's have a class, and the class name is test, and I'm defining the main method. That's it, just to make it simple and easy to understand. So as you can see, this is my testing dot package, and let's start coding now. We will touch the main method later. First, we make the structure. If you see this, what we have to do first we have to get the connection. For the connection, let's first make an object of connection. Connection is another kind of class defined in JDBC library already. So you don't have to include anything in this and define anything, you just need to call it. And equals to null. Define, and we have to initialize it. Since it shows you error because we have not included our packages. So we have to first import the package. Here you go. That's it. It's fixed. Next, after creating a connection object, let's make a connection method. For connection method, we are going to have a method which return the connection object so that we can use that particular connection object in any other extended program. So let's have a connection method defined with the name something like this, get Oracle Connect. I'm just using this name because I'm using Oracle database. So I'm just having this method. This is my definition. Now let's see what we can do inside this. For connection, you need is register class and create connection. Register class, we are going to use class.forName, or you can use driver.registerDriver. So I'm going to use class.forName. Let's declare our driver for name. And inside this, what you have to give is the driver class path. And since I'm using Oracle, so we have to give the values oracle.jdbc.driver.oracledriver. That's the path for my class. Next, after registering, we have to create a connection. So for creating a connection, I already have a connection object defined. So all I need to, instead of null, now it has some values. We have to give some values to my connection object because I have already registered my driver. So connection equals driver manager dot get connection. This is the value. Here I have to give the URL, and this is my URL because I have Oracle type of database. So this will be my URL. It is case sensitive, so you have to make sure what are you typing, is that lowercase or uppercase. Sometimes it will not work. And we have to give the host server name. I have installed it in my system, so it is localhost. And this is the port number where I have installed my Express Edition database server. And this is my database name. So this is all about the URL. Next part, you have to give the JDBC demo. This is my username for the database. And password is, this is my password. You can enter whatever you have given during the installation of database server. So these are the two steps we have to make it for the connection, which we have already learned in my previous video. Next, you can have systemout.println to print the message that connection successfully done. This is what the basic two steps for a connection. Now, according to the standard of coding, you have to always make it efficient programming. So according to that, you have to define it in the try and catch clause to handle the exception. It is always important to have an efficient programming. It is always easy to debug the program. So what is happening here? I just made it in a try and catch. First, I have a block of piece of code inside the try, If it works, then it goes to the catch. If it works, then it goes to the connection successful and exit. And return the connection object. Of course, we have to return the connection object before exiting from the method. And if it doesn't work, then it will print you the error message. It goes to the exception and it will print the error message. Okay, so this is what the problem is. I have to define it within the method definition. So this is the method definition. That's why it's showing me the error. This is the place I have to return the connection object. So I have defined the connection method here. All I need to do is, now here, first I create a object of my class and I can call my connection method. You see? And if I execute this, this will show me that your connection established is done. The class not found, as I told you earlier, we have to include our classes12 jar file external library to include the class file. So connection successful. So this is connection is done. Next step, we have to display the values from the database. So let's define the method of public void display. This is my method. As I have explained it to you here, get connection is done. Now we have to display the values. So for that, first we have to create statement. Before that, we have to define the display method. Within the display method, let's see. First we have to create statement. So let's have statement. Before that, I just wanted to show you one thing important about the SQL developer. This is our database. I have installed my database and have a database already set up here. If you see the properties, you can have your database installed, and if you see, you can create a new connection, pass the values, connection name, username, password, and host name, port number, express edition, SID, any database name, and test the connection. And when it is connected, then you can have all the values here, mentioned it here. I will explain it to you in detail in the next videos where we are going to cover database in detail. For now, this is the table. I'm going to work on it. And this is the values. You see, these values we are going to retrieve it from the database and display it in the Java console. But before that, I just wanted to show you this table structure. If you see this, it has IDE, password, age, and serial number. For example, when you sign up for any site, they will ask you for these very basic values. What's your username, password, email address, and all these values. So these values are existing like this in the database. Varchar type is nothing but the string type in Java, and number is nothing but the integer. So that's what, when we call it here, we have to define these values in the Java. So for example, let's have a local values before declaring statement. String, your ID, password, string type, and serial number, string type, and integer, age. Now let's declare the statement. But remember, whenever we start coding anything, we have to make sure we are writing in a try and catch to handle the exception and making it easy to debug it in case of any exception or error. So let's define it within the try block and declare the statement here. Let's first have a catch exception to make it a complete block so that we don't have to worry about it. So statement and statements, when we create a statement we have to call the connection object, and when we return the connection object at top of the method while we are creating the method, so all we have to do is create statement, and we have created a statement. Basically, creating a statement is like a composing a statement at your level and make it in a pre-compiled mode so that it just go to the Oracle and it is returned in an Oracle form again. Before executing the query from the Oracle, it has to be in an Oracle form. So database cannot understand this kind of statements, so it has to be in a pre-compiled form and transformed from Java to the database form. So this helps to make a composition of a statement. Next, result set. Result set. Declaring a result set will help you to getting the values after the execution. So when we execute this statement, we need to get the values from the table. This helps us to execute it. So you see the SQL execute query. Here we are going to have a direct query like select star from your table name. I have given the test. That's my table name. So this is actually your Oracle form of query which you're going to execute from Java. So while creating this composition of the statement, you have to have it in a Java form and then pre-compile it and make it in an Oracle database form. They have a different syntax. JDBC has to convert it into the database required syntax. After this, we have to get the values from the table and store it in a variable so that we can display it in our Java console. We need a pointer, like since it is a direct query, so it has to display all the values from the table. Or if you need any logic or any condition that okay, I want this particular ID, so what you have to do is like result set has to keep it in a loop that okay, this ID is available, let's display. It has to be in a loop. Generally we use result set. That helps to keep it in a loop and make it in a proper and exact pointer. It works as a pointer here. Next gives the pointer that next, okay, this loop is done, let's go to the next pointer. Define it in a pointer. Age, for example, age is one of the column, we have it in database, so we have to store it, the value of age, in a variable which already defined in the Java, which is the integer type, and here we have to give the database table name, the column name. After age we have ID, which is string type, and here that is get string, so if we can make it in a string type. Column name is ID. You can see here ID. Varchar is nothing but a variable character, and variable character means get string type. Similarly for the password, equals rst.getString, and what name is this? Is the password. And we have serial number, which is again the string type. Here, this is the serial number. Now all we have to do is display these values, so it has to go inside the while loop. And system.out.println help you to print the values, variables. So ID plus password plus serial number plus, this is concatenating the values and age. This is all the definition of your display method. Next, all we have to do is calling the method in the main. Let's try and get ready for some output. Oh, there you go. It's displaying all the values. Can you see this? These are the values. If you see it in table data, ID AA, password AA. And if you want to see how we work here, what you can do is, let's insert the values. ASDF 23 and 12. This is commit. Now if you check this one, my ASDF is showing here. This is the new row I have inserted the values. So this is how we can implement select query for data retrieval, and we connect to the database and display the values of the table. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to TechRanch and share with your friends. Do not forget to press the bell icon to get the latest videos. Let's make coding fun.